What up, internet world? It's your boy Jermaine back with another review video, another e-bike. This is the Ariel Rider. This is the X Class, and I have 500 plus miles. Actually, I think I have 543 miles on this bike, and great time to sit down and make a review video. Someone asked me a couple days ago, they said, yo, where is your Ariel Rider? You haven't rode it in a little bit. And yeah, I rode it about 2 weeks ago, so I thought, yo, let's make a review video talking about this bike, because this bike is pretty awesome. It's not a bike that I ride daily. It's definitely not my daily driver. This bike, I like to pull it out for special occasions only. And that's really the name of the game with this bike. This bike is really fast, by the way. I'll do an actual review video where I'm riding the bike. I'll do that maybe next week or so I can upload. But like I said, this is a fast one. Let's actually get close up on this one. So here we go. We got, you know, we definitely got some gears on it, which definitely helps if you're going up a big hill and you want to get up a little bit faster. These wheels are not bad. I haven't had any flats on this bike, which is pretty awesome. Pretty much every other bike I've had a flat tire on, but this one, cross my fingers, I haven't had one yet. I am about 500 miles into this bike. Usually you don't have a flat around 500 miles. Usually, you know, maybe a little bit, you know, after you ride a little bit longer, you may get a flat. These back tires definitely need to be repaired. Some people rotate their tires, rotate the back tire and the front tire. I'm just gonna keep it real, guys. I don't rotate my tires. I'll probably just ride this tire until it files down, until you can see the red parts of the tires, which I don't see any red parts of this tire yet. Like, there's just a small bit of red poking through. It lets you know you need to repair your tire. But I don't see any of those poking through just yet. And when they do start to poke through, what I'll do is I'll just repair just the back tire. Just put a new tire on this one. After, you know, going through all the work of taking off the back wheel, because taking off the back wheel, it sucks. Now, if you go drop it off at a bike shop, that's a whole different story. But if you're doing it yourself, the back wheel, it just sucks. Now, the front wheel, on the other hand, front wheel is just a whole different story. The front wheel is a little bit easier to manage. If you want to pop off the front wheel, you just have to, you know, use, you know, undo this screw and undo that screw, and, you know, sort of, you know, jiggle it with the brake. But for the most part, it's very easy to take off and repair. Let's go over and talk about these brakes, because these brakes are mechanical brakes, and pretty much on all my other e-bikes don't have mechanical brakes. I have cable brakes. Now, there's a lot of cool things that can be said about mechanical brakes. Mechanical brakes, you don't have to worry about the cord stretching, you know, stretching through. But then you also have to worry about, like, bleeding the brakes, which is something I don't want to really talk about in this video. But if you know about bleeding brakes, you have to do it on bikes with these mechanical brakes, which can kind of be tricky. But mechanical brakes are awesome. After, you know, riding this bike and getting used to the mechanical brakes, it was just really easy to deal with, especially when you needed to especially when I needed to replace the brake pads. Replacing the brake pads was super awesome, because you would, like, just pop this off like you would normally pop it off, and instead of, like, you know, using an Allen key to untighten the tension, you would just, like, sort of, like, pop the two there's, like, these things that makes the brakes tighter and tighter. You would, like, just pop them out, you know. And, you know, with this bike, it was just really easy to take this off, pop these the clamps out, put your new brake pads in, and then just go. Like, it's just really easy. Okay, enough with the brakes. Let's get up to the light. This is a very large front light. I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, I don't know if I've really used this light. I don't know how bright it is. You know, I am making a review video after 500 miles, but once again, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, like, oh, the light's so great. Honestly, I don't remember using it that much. I don't ride this bike often at night. Like I say, this is one of those bikes I pull it out for special occasions. This bike you can go pretty fast on. I don't think I've said this in this video yet, but this bike, I think you can go about 32 miles an hour, just regular speed. Now, if you're going downhill, you can go faster than 32 miles an hour, you know, because if you're already going 32 and then you're just still cruising down the hill, you could go even faster. I think I've hit speeds of, like, 42 or 43 miles an hour on this bike, which is crazy fast for a freaking e-bike, you know. It's crazy fast. Now another awesome thing about this bike that people point out a lot is the suspension. Okay, it's got it definitely got a pretty beefy suspension on this bike. You know, you got this front fork, and then it's not just a regular front fork. It's like, you know, this big front fork that just goes over the front area here. It is somewhat adjustable with these motion controls here. I've never adjusted it. I don't know much about adjusting it. I guess it's something I could experiment with, but once again, this bike is not like it's not the everyday driver, so I kind of want to just ride it kind of how it is. I don't want to mess with it too much. With this bike, I have the Kryptonite Lock I'm using. This is the Kryptonite New York. I think this is 18 millimeter. I don't recommend anyone to buy any locks smaller than this anymore. You know, these cost about $130, but this is really good steel. It's really thick, and it's perfect with this bike because it sort of like fits right here perfectly without hitting the battery. So it kind of has a place to like hang out. I guess another place you could put this maybe you could put it like around here somewhere. I just don't know another place you could put it, but this kind of works pretty well. And then also it's got nice back suspension. Looks like this back suspension is adjustable, but like I say, I haven't experimented with the back with either suspensions, the front suspension or the back suspension. The back suspension, you know, it looks like you can turn it here and something here, but I haven't really experimented with it too much. There's like there's these fenders. These fenders are amazing when you're riding a bike like this, like especially a bike that you can go up to 30 miles an hour on. You definitely need fenders. You don't want to be cruising 30 miles an hour. You run over something like, you know, something in the street, like maybe like a stream of water or something, and then you get it flying up on you. So fenders are like, it's a really good idea. Like I don't even want to ride a bike without fenders, just because like, even on like a nice day, like there's always going to be water in the street, you know. So let's go over and talk about the battery, because the battery is it's on the bike, and this is a pretty big battery. This is a very large battery. One thing I love about this battery is I can use it on two other my other bikes. It's interchangeable, so it's really dope to switch out this battery and put it on another bike, because this bike is 1,000 watts. All of my other bikes are 750s. So when I take this battery and put it on another bike, holy moly, like those bikes get incredible range. But the battery here, I think by this bike being 1,000 watts, right? By being you know, using so much energy, because like I said, like when you're at a red light, you can really take off with this thing. By using so much energy, it drains the battery just as fast, you know, like drains the battery really fast. So if I think I did a test one day where I just went out riding around on it just to see how far I can go without with it just dying. And I think I got like 16 miles on this bike, and then it just completely died on me. I believe the day I was testing it, it was somewhat of a windy day, you know, and maybe I went up a few hills, but to die after 16 miles, I was pretty surprised. But on the flip side, I did take this battery off and put it on a different bike, and I think I rode about 35 miles on that bike without pedaling, and I was really blown away, you know. So the bike is it definitely has a good battery, but you know, by this being 1,000 watts, it's just gonna use like a boatload of juice, you know. Now if you go out and ride this bike and don't just use the throttle, if you go out and ride this bike and just pedal with it, holy moly, yo, I've got like 40 to 50 miles of range just pedaling this bike. When I first got this bike, it was a couple deliveries that I did, and they're really far out, and I was like, yo, we're just gonna pedal the whole day. And I was so surprised to see how long this bike lasts. I was out like delivering for Uber Eats for like 6 hours, but that was pedaling. Okay, now those are really good numbers. Now one thing I haven't did is I haven't took this battery off this bike and put it on one of my other bikes and tried to pedal all day with that. Maybe I would go like 8 hours or 7 hours, 8 hours or 9 hours or something. So that's a couple cool things about the battery. The battery's great. Also, it has this USB port. I think like all batteries nowadays have one of these, you know, on bikes. It's kind of like a standard thing. They're usually slow ports. They're usually not like, you know, not something that you could charge your iPhone with fast, you know. It'll just be like a slow trickle charge type situation. The height of this bike is very different. It's much lower than other bikes that I have. So it's like super low, so it comes up to here. So getting on is like pretty simple. Just like sort of hook a leg over and you just like, you know, get on like so. It's very low. This is definitely not a mountain bike. And now we just flip the bike around, because if I show you the back, of course I got to show you the front. If I show you the right, of course I got to show you the left. So here we go. We got this other side and we got these back brakes here. I've definitely replaced these brake pads, I think 3 times in 500 miles. So 3 times. So you can kind of let that, you know, sink in, just how often you'd have to replace the brakes on these. I think those the oil brakes, if I'm not mistaken, it just feels like to me I replaced them less, a whole lot less than the cable brakes. It also has a really good kickstand on this bike. I know this is something that a lot of people probably, you know, you maybe wonder like, oh yeah, it has a good kickstand, wow, whoopee. Well, kickstand's very important. It's very important. There's another bike I have upstairs. The kickstand is, it has a kickstand on it, but the kickstand is super loose. So whenever like you use the kickstand, it works, but a lot of times if I'm on a hill, the kickstand just doesn't work as good because it's just loose like down here. And in some scenarios you can tighten this up. Other scenarios, tighten this up just won't work because maybe it's loose from somewhere else, you know. And after a while, after you put, you know, a couple thousand miles on a bike, you know, things are gonna start to wear down. But yeah, this is the Ariel Rider. Yes, this is a beautiful bike, I tell you. It's a beautiful bike. It's fast. It's got that big battery on it. And this is what it looks like after, you know, after 500 miles, 540 miles. Let's fire this puppy up. You just like press this button like so. How many miles? We at 543.6 miles. So yeah, we're good. We are good to go. Alright guys, so here we have it. We got the Ariel Rider and we got the X Class. This is a fun bike to ride around. I love it. It's definitely zippy. One thing that I kind of don't like about this bike, it's probably one reason why I kind of don't really ride it that much, is it's so fast. I feel like I have to wear a helmet. On some of the other bikes I have, they go up to like 20 miles an hour. So I'm like, okay, I kind of feel okay with just going around the city riding this bike with no helmet on. But this bike, it's like I have to wear a helmet on this bike because it just goes way too fast. And you know, if you're out cycling, I would totally recommend wearing a helmet. A helmet will definitely help you in the event of, you know, an accident or, you know, a situation of that sort. But anyway guys, I want to make a quick video talking about the Ariel Rider after 500 miles. And this is a fun bike. I think it still has a lot of life left in it. Also has a very nice comfortable seat too. But guys, thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely if you definitely give me feedback. And if you guys want to follow me on my other channel, my main channel, I'll have a link down in the description below for my main channel. And for now, thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, yo.